Even though Fortnite Remix just started, it's been determined that Chapter 1 OG is permanently returning in December for the start of Chapter 6, with the finale event entering this also being leaked, which we have our first look at, alongside the official theme of this first season and actual Battle Pass skins right in front of our eyes that Fortnite or Epic Games are showing off right now. That's just scratching the surface of what we've got to cover today, so stick around for 480 to 600 seconds being the full length of this video. Stop, don't forget I'm an official Epic partner, so before you pick anything up from the shop, make sure to enter code FM1 inside there, being one of the shortest and easiest codes to enter, only 3 digits long. It would mean the world to me and my dog Charlie the Charcoal Pug. After all, we got a giant cutout to show our appreciation to you guys rocking the code. Last video I wanted to know the name of this, so here's a bunch of hearted comments on screen right now that got that right. Today, however, I want to know the name of this, so let me know down below in the comments, and if it gets hearted, it could be showed on screen in the next video, so make sure you subscribe now with all those noties on, because after all, we try and give different subscribers every single day too, with proof for that on screen recently right now. So just before we reveal the official Battle Pass skins OG Chapter 1 intel confirming its return, we need to reflect on where Chapter 6 was initially leaked from or we first saw it, being the 2024 roadmap. Again, that obviously has vague representation of what's upcoming for these specific things which each image represents. For instance, Chapter 2 OG or Remix, whatever you want to call it, had these 3 seasons right here, but we know it's only Chapter 2 Season 2 as of now. Right now in game, of course, the M&M update has gone live with the Spaghetti Grotto location, which previously was covered over in dirt like this, which obviously now the dirt has disappeared and we can go inside, see the M&M boss, and finally get and use the Rap God minigun. The reason I wanted to mention this, although it's not related to Chapter 6, is because it was an update today, but not a downtime one. Of course, we see these hot fixes each week to do with the different rappers. Snoop Dogg was week 1, Eminem's week 2, Ice Spice is week 3, and then Juice WRLD is week 4 for the finale event. Of course, right now that we only saw at the end of the Remix trailer in this Legends Never Die kind of style, but from looking at the Remix article, this is not going to be the free version of Juice WRLD apparently we're going to be receiving for attending the live event, or between that date, November 30th at 2 PM ET, to one of Juice WRLD's legacy, as this will be called the Slayer Juice WRLD outfit. And data miners with this information have been able to determine that the Slayer Juice WRLD outfit is most likely inspired by his animated look in the Already Dead music video. This outfit is cel shaded, unlike the other outfits shown in the teaser, and it could be a design inspired by the anime Demon Slayer, with this being a concept of what my thumbnail designer Boost plans, obviously made and is on screen right now, so make sure to go and sub to him, he does some amazing work. Many people are curious as to why we're seeing these artists now represent this remixed version of Chapter 2, Season 2 specifically, being the season just one that we've gone back to, and that's because all 4 of these artists, Eminem, Snoop Dogg, Ice Spice, and also Juice WRLD, will be a part of the finale event, obviously performing in a giant form, just like we saw for Travis Scott in Chapter 2, Season 2, being the first concert with a giant kind of Fortnite character on the island, but all over the island at their own POIs, which we have our first look at thanks to this Instagram user called Doggy Style, who's friends with Snoop Dogg himself, who based off his Instagram videos, one reel specifically, got invited to Epic Games to actually do the body movements and stuff for Snoop Dogg and what he's going to look like around the Dog Pound POI when this concert actually happens. As of right now, Snoop Dogg is the only artist we have this first initial kind of very early look of as to how it will look on the Chapter 5 island around the specific designated POI. We kind of know how it's going to look for Eminem based off the Big Bang Live event, you know, to exit Chapter 1 OG, so obviously he's returning in this new form now, the newly released skin, and don't forget to enter code FM1 for when you pick this up from the shop, being one of the shortest codes, only 3 digits, and takes like 3 seconds to enter on any device. And speaking of OG Chapter 1, or the first OG season that we went back to for just exclusively 1 month last year, as you can see from the comparison between these initial announcement posts anyways on X or Twitter, between Fortnite OG and also Fortnite Remix, which is now out, it's clear to anyone Remix doesn't even come close to the popularity that Chapter 1 OG took the crown for in terms of the initial hype or build-up. But then from comparing the first 2 days of player counts, which actually peaked at 4.6 million on the second day, OG Day 1 had 5.8 million and Day 2 had 6.2 million, and Remix Day 1 had 4.3 million, but again Day 2 had 4.6 million, with the second day of the release of any of these month-long seasons being a clear indicator as to more people being able to hop on, as these numbers seemed more closer than people would have expected right here in comparison of Chapter 2 returning to Chapter 1 being everybody's fan favourite. The community then started to wonder, instead of going back to Remix Chapter 2 this time around, what if we went back to OG Chapter 1? What would these player numbers look like? It seems like we won't have to wonder for too much longer, as November 2nd it was already revealed that Epic Games is working on a mode that has a very similar loot pool to Chapter 1 Season 1, and then literally 3 days later, November 5th, Sheena and Hypex followed up with, simultaneously, Fortnite Chapter 1 returns next month. All Chapter 1 seasons will return, the seasons will return monthly, expected at the Game Awards to be announced, and it's supports builds and zero build with a completely OG loot pool, and this information comes from an anonymous source that him and Hypex can confirm. Despite this backing up the previous post we talked about where it stated there's going to be OG loot from Chapter 1 Season 1, obviously meaning it starts back then and rotates based off this information up to Season X. Obviously with the release of Chapter 6 next month on December 1st, and this confirmed to be coming back next month, Chapter 1 OG people thought, is this going to be Chapter 6 or simply going back to Chapter 1? And instead of us only having a month-long OG season, us rotating throughout each season of Chapter 1 each month until the next chapter, well, according to Sheena in a post yesterday, updates on the return of Fortnite Chapter 1, it will be a new core mode for Fortnite. It will be released after Fortnite Chapter 6, and it will not replace Chapter 6. Both modes will coexist, and some people were confused about this news, again, I already mentioned, so that's why he provided the additional information. This is definitely going to be very interesting as to how the player base in the community is split now, not just between the two modes that we have like build and zero build, but going forward for the future of Fortnite into Chapter 6 versus what we've already known and loved being Chapter 1. And just before we hop onto the exclusive new Chapter 6 intel, this is kind of worrying that Chapter 1 is returning going through all of the seasons, as according to data miners like FireMonkey, with the 31.40 update October 12th, Epic Games re-added the shop assets for a lot of old battle passes and the Galaxia crew pack. Most likely doesn't mean much, but it looks like a lot of old assets got re-added this update, but I know people like to speculate. With that said, and the announcement of all Chapter 1 seasons returning, somebody made a very interesting post follow-up November 5th stating, battle passes can be only earned within their season. Apparently that's what it states about the battle pass when buying it from Epic Games. Then also, all seasons are returning, the battle pass images in the shop have been updated that we mentioned, and then Epic Games has been moving a lot of old battle pass images into a new folder called Offer Catalog. It's all coming together. What this user's getting at, if it wasn't already blatantly obvious, is all of the old battle passes could be returning for when we rotate throughout each of these seasons of Chapter 1, and considering we're going back to Season 1 of Chapter 1, does this mean the season shop with the Renegade Raider and Aerial Assault Trooper will also be making a reappearance, as there was no battle pass in Season 1? Speaking of Season 1 though, as we move on to the Chapter 6 intel now, as early as November 2nd, Wenso came out stating, exclusive Chapter 6 Season 1 will be themed around samurais and Japanese mythology. I know this has been rumoured for a while, so I want to confirm it once and for all. Biomes on the map include shrine, rivers, plains, farmland and forest so far. I'm guessing we can also expect POIs like this, which a lot of data miners have included in their tweets regarding this information, which was obviously on the Chapter 4 island, being a very Japanese themed overall location. Either way, it's safe to say they're really getting ahead and not delaying this season as we're seeing annual chapters, and to fit that theme, Fortnite has reconfirmed a bunch of Chapter 6 updates. December 1st being Chapter 6 Season 1 launching, December 10th 33.10 Winterfest update, January 14th the 33.20 update, the final Season 1 update February 4th being 33.30, and then February 21st is the next season, Chapter 6 Season 2. Information regarding Chapter 6 has been pouring out literally since mid this year on July 19th from Hypex, as he posted there's going to be a new prone mechanic and swinging mechanic, possible new modes which we now know to be Chapter 1 OG returning permanently, creative pet support releases December 1st, again that's been confirmed thanks to the remix article, and the finale event obviously occurring November 30th, and then possible Floating Islands theme. The last point he mentioned, of course, that long ago about the Floating Islands theme was basically just off of the roadmap image that we see, in comparison to Wenso confirming that this first season of Chapter 6 will be themed around samurais and Japanese mythology. Of course, this could be on a structure of floating islands that we see overall flying in the sky or in space like Chapter 4. Of course, the Battle Pass skins for Chapter 6 Season 1 will be reflected off whatever theme is upcoming. Obviously, right now it's looking like samurais and Japanese mythology, again, based off of what we're seeing as these early concept forms on the Fortnite surveys of so many of the skins. And obviously, we only see 8 Battle Pass skins between level 1 and 100 in a normal length season, unlike now where it's literally a month long and we only have 5. So obviously, based off of all the different samurai or Japanese mythology themed skins you're seeing on screen, Epic Games will have quite the selection or pick in terms of what's in the Battle Pass, and then the ones simply set to just release throughout the item shop in this season or even after. The only thing that discredits this is on October 12th, Hypex posted Chapter 6 possible season theme leak. Most skins in the recent survey that released then have this hero theme with the same suit and logo on it. From putting these bigger on screen, of course, seeing that similar or same logo on all of these characters, it was pulled from overall all of these skins making up the entire survey that did drop or release on October 12th. And as you can see, there's a variety of different types of theme of skins on here despite just the heroes, so it may be for an upcoming season like Chapter 6 Season 2, where potentially we see a heroes versus villains themed season, as we do see typically some something between two factions like Ghost and Shadow, what's being recreated now in Chapter 2 Remix, primarily based around Chapter 2 Season 2 where this initially occurred. In terms of the loot pool, not much is revealed right now other than this big surprise from Sheena on November 2nd stating the quad launcher is intended to return in Chapter 6, and data miners have put comparisons on screen between the older version and the new one in terms of how it looks with the revamped textures. I personally like the textures for the older one. I don't know why they happened to change it, but the simple fact that they did obviously points toward the fact it's going to be re-implemented, as this needed to happen in time for Chapter 6. And despite the sky of Fortnite Remix being of interest toward the end of the season anyways, as this is our first teaser toward Juice WRLD's tribute, as it states in the Remix article, draw your eye to the setting sun at the World Point landmark arriving in week 4, where in the sky we can see a silhouette of Juice WRLD, and maybe this draws slightly closer toward the event where he stood on the island, kinda like what happened with Galactus approaching in Chapter 2 Season 4. Speaking of the sky, which apparently has been really optimized, this is our first look as to what the sun looks like, obviously kind of like nearing sundown or sunrise, and also the nighttime sky. Drop a like if you're excited for Chapter 6 and the finale event, subscribe for more with all notifications turned on so you don't miss any future uploads, and don't forget I'm an Epic partner, so enter code FM1 right now or the next time you log on, or in the web shop, as nobody's doing it like me and Charlie the Charcoal Pug with a giant cutout of our code to simply show our love back to you guys rocking it in the FM1 squad. YouTube knows where you want to go to now though, so click either of these two videos it's recommended on screen whilst you wait for the next upload I do publish here on the channel.